Hi, students. So today and for the rest of this week, as you should already know, we're going to be working on either writing a cover letter or our college admissions essay. At the end or towards the middle-ish end of this week, you're going to be deciding which one you think will be best for your future. I would highly recommend really caring about which one you choose because this will prevent you from either having to write your college admissions essay later next year with no support from a teacher, or this could save you from having to write this at the end of your senior year, all stressed out trying to find a job, this cover letter. So there's a lot of reasons to take this really seriously, and I hope that you actually, if nothing else this year that you've taken seriously, you take this seriously. Today we're going to start with cover letters, and then tomorrow we're going to start with college admissions essays. So we're going to do them just one day at a time. So we're going to start with cover letters. Today we're going to talk about what they are, why they're important, and how we can write one. We're going to look at a couple samples of cover letters, judge them together, and then I'm going to, for your assignment today, leave you with a cover letter. You're going to read it, and then you're going to evaluate it in the same way that we've been evaluating cover letters today together. We're going to do the same thing tomorrow. We're going to talk about college admissions essays, why they're important, and we're going to look at a couple examples of college admissions essays and rate them and go through them together, leaving you with one to look at, rate yourself. All of this is going to build us to Wednesday, which is going to be a day of kind of brainstorming. If we were to write a cover letter, what would we put in it? If we were to write a college admissions essay, what would we put in it? And then finally on Thursday, we'll start writing. And that'll be the day that you decide whether you want to start writing your cover letter or whether you want to start writing your admissions essay. And then Friday is going to be the Zoom meeting or an alternate assignment. So now we know what this week is going to look like. What we're going to do is just jump right in with a cover letter. I have this article here from themuse.com that talks about cover letters itself. Why even bother with a cover letter at all? What is the purpose of a cover letter? And the purpose of it is to kind of give extra information besides what's just on a resume. It helps people kind of gain a better understanding of you as a person. And in the words of this article, it says, in the cover letter, you have an opportunity to craft a narrative that aligns not only with the person you're applying to, but also the company you're applying to. So this kind of shows you how your vision of yourself, how your values, how your work ethic lines up with that of the company and also the hiring manager. It says it can add information if there's gaps in your resume, or it can help you add personality to an otherwise kind of straightforward career path. So, talk about why you enjoy this career or why you might be a good fit. There's certain elements to a perfect cover letter, it says, and the first is an engaging opening line. We're going to be talking about opening lines in both cover letters and college applications essays to make sure that we're gripping the reader or the hiring manager's attention right away. um, a clear pitch. So we're going to be working on making sure that we're expressing our ideas clearly and fluently to the audience that we're writing to. So this kind of works for both, but specifically for cover letters, it's very important to be clear about what job you want to do and why. Making sure that you have a nice closing line, thanking people for reading and taking the time to read your cover letter, making it aware once more what your perspective is on the job, why you want it, and making sure you're addressing your cover letter correctly. We'll be talking about how exactly to formulate that when we do this together. And now we'll be jumping into how to write it, why it's good, why it's important. So again, a lot of jobs will ask you for a cover letter. It'll ask you maybe for a resume. It'll ask you for certifications. And then a cover letter kind of expresses your interest on why you want this job. So you look at job descriptions, you look at the responsibilities that they're going to ask you to do. And then in your cover letter, you address them. So if you're looking at like something like coordinating and organizing materials for presentations, you might specify in your cover letter, if you didn't already in your resume or you didn't have enough room for it in your resume, you might say, yeah, I've presented in over 30 meetings if you had that experience for my prior company. So I feel very prepared to present for you. Or coordinating and organizing materials, you're a very organized person. You at your last company won an award for the most organized person in this company. So again, it's a time where you can kind of sell yourself and make yourself look really good in a spot where perhaps your resume didn't allow you to do that. Some of you students, or one of you students, wrote to me that you had already started doing cover letters in your shop, which honestly, for me, that's awesome because that means that you do have a foundation already. You kind of know how to write it and you know what it should look like. We're going to continue refining those cover letters if you already have them from your related in this class, just because I think that I'm honestly, obviously, your shop teachers know everything about the shop itself, but I'm trained in spelling, grammar, adding detail, making sure things are presented clearly and fluently, so I can help you with that aspect of this. So don't feel shy if you already have kind of a cover letter started. I will definitely force you to expand upon that cover letter. So don't think too that you're out of this assignment because you've already done it, because we'll continue working on it. Together, we're going to look at 2 examples of cover letters, and then I'm going to read one more example of a cover letter to you, and that's what you're going to be working on today's assignment with. So we're going to start with this first cover letter. This is actually for a business job because a lot of you wrote to me on your forums about what you might want to do when you get older, that you want to own your own business or do business of some sort, maybe go to college for business. And so I will go into more detail about this later, probably on Wednesday or Thursday. We'll talk about formatting. We'll talk about how to write these exactly. Right now, we're just getting exposed to it. So there is a certain way, because it's a letter, that you format it. You start with your name, your address, your phone number, and your contact email. So your information will always go at the top of a cover letter. Then you use the date. Then you say your hiring manager's name, company address, company phone number, company email. So this will be wherever wherever you're sending your resume and cover letter to. That's what you put here. Then you start with Dear Hiring Manager, whoever that person may be. Oftentimes the name is listed somewhere, and then if it's not, research it, look it up, ask someone, so you can be more personal. So I'll start reading this. I'll read the whole thing, and then we'll go through it together with this evaluation sheet, and we'll figure out the answers to all of these questions, figure out if it's a strong cover letter, and we'll figure out exactly why it's a strong cover letter. So we start here with Dear Hiring Manager. My name is blank, and I'm happy to be applying for the business manager position at Innovation Advertising. As someone with deep experience, unique leadership skills, and an inherent ability to motivate a team, I'm confident I'll be an asset to your organization. I'm excited about the potential to offer my solution-oriented perspective and natural soft skills as a means of helping Innovation Advertising achieve its company objectives. My background includes experience in driving business process success and helping my previous employer, Foundry Marketing, achieve a 73% increase in revenue by implementing a new marketing strategy. I've also continuously met or surpassed business goals. Moreover, I have 7 years of management experience while effectively handling several responsibilities, from marketing to facilitating critical client relationships. Other highlights of my experience include recruiting, training, inventory management, report generation, and helping to reduce overtime costs by 40% through a detailed overhaul of outdated work management tools. I am known for remaining calm in fast-paced environments while conveying the ability to logically address any situation or obstacle. Plus, I'm willing to learn and share my knowledge with others. Thank you in advance for considering me for this position. I'm genuinely looking forward to further discussing the responsibilities involved with the business manager job opening at Innovation Advertising. I'm confident that my strengths and experience will translate well with your company. I'm driven by passion, motivation, and determination. Moreover, it will be my goal to ensure your team is successful. Sincerely, and then you sign your name. So to me, this is really impressive, right? It's a cover letter. It's explaining exactly why you want this position, why you'd be good at the position, what qualifies you for this position, gives your hiring manager a bit of background about you, lets them understand some things about you that they wouldn't know otherwise. And it really does do its job at selling this person, in my opinion. There are obviously things that maybe could be changed about this, but overall, it seems pretty strong. And let's look at exactly why, because it's important to look at exemplars to know what we need to strive for. These are the people that you will be competing with when you're sending in your cover letter. So you want yours to look like this. So if we look at these questions, does the applicant make it clear and known that he or she is interested in this position right at the beginning? How do we know that unless we look right at the beginning? So it says, my name is blank, and I'm happy to be applying for the business manager position at Innovation Advertising. As someone with deep experience, unique learning skills, leadership skills, and an inherent ability to motivate a team. I'm confident I'll be an asset to your organization. So in my opinion, yes. And so here, yes, it is clear that the applicant wants a job and is expressing eager interest. He/she makes it known and lists the skills and qualifications that would make him or her a good fit for the job. They talk about how they have the ability to motivate a team, they have experience, they're confident, and they listed the exact position that they want. They want to be business manager at a certain company here. They're hoping to help the company reach its objectives, which is important. You want to make sure that you look company oriented. You want to make sure that you're doing all that you can to achieve what the company wants. What's the company's objectives, right? Question number 2, what are some impressive examples that the applicant includes to show that he or she is a good worker or fit for the job? In other words, what would make you want to hire this applicant? Pretend that you're reading this as the hiring manager. What things impressed you about this applicant's cover letter? I think personally, statistics really sell. If you're saying, okay, um, uh, we received a 73% increase in revenue by implementing my new marketing strategy that I chose, I think that that's really impressive. So it's all about what you imply with what you wrote and why you wrote certain things. The applicant speaks of a new marketing strategy that increased revenue at his or her company by 73%, which any company would want as well. By implying that he or she played a part in that, the applicant, it shows experience with earning this revenue for the company, and hopefully that he/she can bring this skill to his or her new job. So I see, wow, at the last company, sales increased by 73% with this applicant. I want that applicant at my company to increase my sales by 73%, right? So using this statistic is really impressive and important. If you have a statistic, use it. Furthermore, look at some things that they say about themselves, right? They've been experienced in recruiting, training, inventory management, report generation, helping reduce costs, right? Again, all of those things are really marketable skills. If you're like, oh, great, I'll have somebody who knows how to recruit new people, but also knows how to train new people, but also knows how to manage inventory. Again, those are skills that you can bring to a new company, and you see that and you're very impressed by it. So perhaps. And so here you see a variety of skills. The variation of skills the applicant lists, like training or inventory management, to list a couple, are impressive and show a wide range of skills that he/she could bring to a new company, right? What, in your opinion, about this letter makes the applicant stand out? Personality, experience, competency. If you had to kind of come up with a conception of this person from the cover letter, what would make this applicant stand out? In my opinion, I would say it's all of the experience, and the way that he or she seems to hold themselves in the face of difficult times, right? So implementing new marketing strategies, implementing something new is always kind of scary, but if you're able to do that seamlessly and increase sales by doing it, that's impressive. Something like all of these responsibilities still being handled while also reducing costs by 40%, impressive. Something that I want from my applicant. Being calm in fast-paced environments, thinking logically in these kind of situations, very marketable skills. So I would say personally, so you'd say the competency of this worker seems to stand out. He/she proves that he/she has a wide range of skills that are employed well from the evidence shown. Hiring managers want capable, collected, innovative workers, and this applicant proves him or herself to be very competent at his or her old job by being able to take on all of these responsibilities and still be able to produce such good and desirable results. These are the things, again, that you want to highlight in your own cover letters. Here are the skills that I have. Here is how I can make your life easier by having these skills. Let's look at question 4. How does the applicant show that he or she is professional, capable, or deserving of a job? For example, the use of formal language, showing a good work ethic, using proper spelling or grammar conventions, etc. I would say in this example, if I were reading this as a hiring manager, I would say, wow, they sound like they have a really good control over the English language, which is important because when you're speaking to a client or you're speaking to a customer, you want to sound professional and you want to sound like you know what you're talking about. For me, I read this and I say, okay, this person clearly knows how to use words. He knows how to use words to his or her advantage. So we don't know if it's a he, but this person knows how to use words to their advantage. And for me, that's pretty marketable. So I would say, so, this person uses clear and impressive language to convey points, skills that translate into the business world. So, by being able to talk and speak and express yourself fluently and clearly, as I say all the time in class when you ask me why English matters, these are skills that translate into the business world. You're able to communicate with others, you're able to make a point and be understood by others. That's extremely important. The use of technical job specific language like solution oriented or reducing overtime costs shows that the applicant clearly knows the job and has experience in the field. So you want to seem experienced, you want to seem like you know what you're talking about, and you want people to understand you when you're speaking. This cover letter, I think, is a great example of that. There's one last question at the end that I'm going to ask you about the cover letters that we read today, and then also the application essays that we are going to read tomorrow. Are there any parts of this essay that could be revised? For example, is any part of it wordy, confusing, not descriptive enough? For me, being critical and being an English teacher, the only thing that I could think of was perhaps towards the end. There's two places that kind of caught my eye, and that if I were reading your cover letter, I might suggest this as a change. The first thing is when the person says plus, that to me just kind of detracts from the rest of it. It almost sounds like more informal language instead of the formal language that he or she has been using before. So like transition words like moreover or however, and then all of a sudden you use the word plus. I would almost say additionally, I am willing to learn and share my knowledge with others. So word choice at times I would suggest to this person. And finally, reading the end here, it almost seems kind of messy in the way that it's presented. Absolutely always thank the person for considering you for a position. You can say that you're looking forward to working, but I would end there. I would almost move these up to the beginning of this paragraph. So start the paragraph by saying, I'm confident that my strengths and experiences will translate well with your company. I'm driven by passion, motivation, determination. Moreover, it'll be my goal to ensure your team is successful. And then end on thanking them. So that's the last thing that they remember, is that you're courteous. And to just give that final general selling statement, I'm genuinely looking forward to further discussing the responsibilities involved with the business manager job. And you're just reiterating what you want and why you're applying. So I would end on that. So I would kind of swap the place of these in the conclusion. I think that it's just more clearly presented that way. And that's just an opinion question. Being an English teacher, I just think this goes better with what was said before. So it's a logical kind of transition and it flows better that way. And then end with these. So saying, I would suggest looking at word choice at times, like the word plus, and changing the formatting of the last paragraph by moving the last three sentences to be the first three sentences of the conclusion. In my opinion, this is a pretty good interpretation of that cover letter, and a pretty good interpretation of a very strong one at that. I would look at this and I would see a very professional applicant. I would see a person who clearly knows what they want, knows the job, and will do good things for the company. And that's what you want from your own cover letters that you're going to be writing. You want to look marketable. You want to look like somebody they want to hire. And it's just in your best interest to do that. We're going to look at a second example now together as a class, and then the third one you're going to do yourself. So start with the proper formatting at the top. This is how you format every cover letter, with your name and then the hiring manager's information. Don't forget to find their full name. And let's look at today. So this is going to be a person interviewing to be an electrician, or wanting to interview, because you submit your resume and cover letter, and then if they like you, they'll call you in for an interview. Starting at the top, I'll read it all to you, and then we'll go through it together little by little. My name is blank. I'm applying for the position of whatever it may be with your company as advertised on LinkedIn, wherever you found the job, Indeed. I am a fully licensed master electrician, Class A, with over 9 years of experience as a residential electrical contractor, including the past 4 years in the greater Boston area with McNelly Electric. My field experience has included planning and installation of electrical systems in new homes and troubleshooting and repair of existing installations. I've recently undergone further skills training in PV solar installation and systems maintenance, and will be writing my NAB CEP exam this year. Apart from my technical skills, I'm reliable, trustworthy, and punctual. In particular, I take pride in the quality of my customer service. Much of the work I did for my previous company came through client referrals, and I will bring the same standard of service and professionalism to yours. I also have experience leading small teams on larger operations and working on my own on small projects. I'm committed to the highest standards of electrical safety and operational protocol, and I'm fully up to date on all OSHA certifications, occupational safety codes, and state legislation. I look forward to hearing from you soon, and I thank you very much in advance for your time and consideration. Please find my contact information on this letter and in my enclosed resume. Sincerely, your name. So let's go through these questions again, and we'll decide, is this a good cover letter? And it is, right? Why is it a good cover letter? Why is it strong? And perhaps are there areas where this person could increase or strengthen the cover letter? So let's look. The first question, does an applicant make it clear and known that he or she is interested in this position right off the bat, right from the beginning? Are we hooking them in? And the first thing is, yes, my name is blank. I'm applying for this position with your company. It's advertised on blank. Something to kind of tuck into the back of our heads that we might use in 5. Are there any revisions? It doesn't really go into detail about why they'd be a good fit, like they do in the very first paragraph, like they do in the last cover letter that we read. So that might be something to kind of think about as a critique of this. But it does, the applicant does make it known that he or she is interested in this position right away. So you might say yes. Yes, the applicant makes it known that he/she is interested right away. It's the first sentence of the letter, and the position, company, and applicant names are all clear. They're all said right away. Second question, what are some impressive examples that the applicant includes to show that he or she is a good worker or a good fit for the job? In other words, what would make you, if you were the hiring manager reading this, what would make you hire that applicant? Let's look at it. It says, I'm a fully licensed master electrician, Class A, with over 9 years experience as a residential electrical contractor, including the last 4 years in the greater Boston area with McNelly Electric. Name drops where, name drops with who, which is great because if that's a reputable company, you want to see that. You want to say, oh, wow, and you have over 9 years of experience. It lists the class that they are and that they're a master electrician, right? So that shows a lot of work, a lot of experience and dedication to the position. So for me, I would say maybe that whole first sentence that they use in this second paragraph is really strong because it shows experience and it shows name dropping of hopefully a reputable company to get some kind of good reputation association involved there. So the applicant makes clear the hefty experience he or she has and name drops a reputable organization for positive association. Good skills here. Also, looking at other things, right? The use of technical language to kind of impress the person and say, like, okay, he or she knows what they're talking about, right? Obviously, they're driven if they're looking to take exams to kind of increase their skills, and they have further training in PV solar installation and systems maintenance. So this person has more to offer than the traditional candidate, is what it seems like to me reading this, because they have undergone further skills training and they plan on taking more exams in the future. So that shows to me drive, that shows ambition, that shows a worker who's going to put 110% in because they always want to be more or do more than others. And so additionally, the applicant also shows drive and ambition, wanting to get additional testing and training done, which is a very marketable and good asset for any company. We want workers that look good, that are marketable, that seem like they want to go that extra mile and extra step and get these additional certifications. What about this letter makes the applicant stand out, whether it be personality, experience, or competency? Honestly, this is more of like a feeling I get when I'm reading it, but for me, I feel like this guy or girl is really kind of, I don't want to use the word chill, but they seem it. They're reliable, they're trustworthy, they're punctual, they take pride in the quality of customer service. It almost seems less try-hardy than the last cover letter. This one seems to me very calm, very put together. They know exactly who they are as a person and they're comfortable with that. So that to me is more of a vibe, which I get when reading it. You might disagree or you might agree, and it's obviously very difficult to pinpoint with words, but I sort of get the vibe that this person is very calm, they're very capable, they know what they're talking about, but also they're chill about it. They don't try too hard, they're just trying their hardest to be the best they can be, and that's that. Saying, I get a good vibe from this person's personality. They seem put together and humble while also appearing competent and confident about his or her skills. I think that these are important in any application or cover letter experience. You want to seem like you know what you're doing and talking about, but also you want to seem approachable and friendly. It seems like a lot of pressure, but honestly, just write from your heart, and then we'll focus on spelling, grammar, technicals, and details later. So, anyway, how does this applicant show that he or she is professional, capable, and deserving of a job? For example, use of formal language, good work ethic, proper spelling and grammar conventions, etc. This person writes very capably in terms of spelling and grammar. Everything is perfect here. But additionally, when we look at good work ethic, let's look at right here, talking about apart from technical skills. So he says, look, or he or she says, look, I have a lot of technical skills, but I'm also reliable, trustworthy, punctual. I take pride in my work. And they recognize everything. A lot of the work that you do comes from client referrals. Company A says that, wow, this person did a really nice job. You want to use them for your electrical work in the future. And so from word of mouth, it gets passed on. And also you have experience leading, working with teams. These are, again, marketable skills. So I might say this person shows a great work ethic. So this person shows a great work ethic. He or she shows that he or she works well with a team, is a good leader, and is motivated and driven, all while using correct and fluent spelling and grammar. Because again, being able to express yourself clearly and fluently is so important in any job situation. You want to have that skill, and this person really demonstrates that in his or her writing. Finally, are there any parts of this essay that could be revised? For example, is any part of it wordy, confusing, or not descriptive enough? We mentioned when reading the beginning that perhaps in this first sentence, or perhaps in this first paragraph, this person could have expanded a little bit more on why they think they're a good fit for the job and why they want this job. So you could just say perhaps. So perhaps in the first paragraph, the person could have expanded more about why he or she wants this job or would be a good fit. Additionally, again, for me being a picky English teacher, I would like to see more details or explanation. So when you're talking about like, oh, I have experience leading small teams on larger operations or working on my own smaller projects, tell me what those projects are. Tell me, make me impressed about the scale of those projects. Did you work for 8 months on a building and it should have taken 10 months but you cut the times down? Or were you able to wire X amount of square feet in 3 days, right? And this is very impressive. So give me exact details and explanations of what you're doing. I would maybe want a little bit more of just what the job was and why I should be impressed by that job. So saying additionally, providing additional details, explanations, or examples of specific duties and jobs would be really beneficial to give context in this letter, in my opinion. I think that that would make it stronger, in my English teacher opinion. And so we've looked at two good examples of cover letters. We've found strengths of them. We found maybe weaknesses or areas of improvement on them. We're going to be doing this with our own essays as well as we continue going through, but we're going to start writing these either cover letters or college entrance essays later this week. So don't worry, don't put too much stress into it. For now, we're still just focusing on what makes for good cover letters and college application essays. So no matter if you want to do your cover letter or no matter if you want to do your college admissions essay, you still have to complete the assignments that I list until I tell you that you either do one or the other starting this day. But I want you to get a good feel for both, because eventually, even if you do plan on going to college someday, you will have to write a cover letter. I went to college and I still had to write a cover letter to work here at B.A.T. And even if you just plan on going right into the job force, that doesn't mean that eventually you won't go to college and won't need that college essay written. Wouldn't you rather have the essay written now as opposed to having to write it 3 years down the line and saying like, oh, I regret not having written it in Miss Duquette's class, right? So we're going to look at both, and then we're going to make a decision based on what we think is best for us on what to write, okay? So what's today's assignment going to be? Today's assignment is going to be writing your name, and you know where to find this. It's going to be in the description of the video per usual. I want you to reread the third cover letter I showed you in today's video, which I'm going to attach below. I'm going to go through it right now. We're going to read it together. And then you have another example of this here. I'll email you another copy of this cover letter so you can read it on your own time as well. So we're going to read this, and then you're going to do what I did today, break down positives of this cover letter and then areas that you think could be revised about it. So how's the formatting? Dear hiring manager, My name is Blink and I'm applying for the job of cook at XYZ Hospital. You specify you're looking for someone with cooking experience and customer service skills. My skills and experience make me an ideal candidate for the position. I've been working in the culinary industry for 7 years. For the past 3 years, I have served as a short order cook at Blink. I am therefore comfortable preparing meals quickly and efficiently, a necessary skill in a busy hospital cafeteria. I have also served in other capacities in restaurants. I began as a dishwasher and then spent 3 years as a line cook at XYZ fast food restaurant. I'd be comfortable performing a variety of tasks in the cafeteria. You state that applicants should have strong customer service skills. As a short order cook, I constantly interact with customers. I serve customers seated at the bar and know how to maintain a positive rapport with customers. In fact, I received the award for Employee of the Month 4 times at XYZ Diner, due in large part to my customer service skills. I'm firmly committed to the idea that food is meant to be enjoyed, that it is an art form, and that if the person eating does not appreciate it, then I should work harder the next time to best fit the customer's desires. I'm confident that my experience and skills will make me a valuable member of the XYZ Hospital culinary team. I've enclosed my resume and will call within the week to see if we might arrange a time to speak together. Thank you so much for your time and consideration. Sincerely, your name. So now that we've read that, and you should reread that on your own time, we're going to answer the questions. Pretend you're a hiring manager. Put some good thought into the following questions about the cover letter above. Answer each of the following questions in at least 2 to 3 full sentences. Got it. Does the applicant make clear and known that he or she is interested in the position right at the beginning? How do you know what language is used? Answer that. What are 3 impressive examples that the applicant includes to show that he or she is a good worker or fit for the job? In other words, what would make you want to hire this applicant? In your opinion, what about this letter makes the applicant stand out, whether it be personality, experience, or competency? In other words, what makes you like this candidate as a person? How does this applicant show that he or she is professional, capable, or deserving of a job? For example, use of formal language, a good work ethic, proper spelling and grammar conventions, etc. Are there any parts of this essay that could be revised? For example, in your opinion, is there any part of it that's wordy, confusing, or not descriptive enough? And finally, of the 3 cover letters that we looked at today, the business manager, the electrician, and right now this cook, which cover letter was the most impressive to you and why? In other words, which applicant would you hire based on what they've written, in your opinion, and then why? I acknowledge I'll receive an extra copy of this cover letter sent to my email along with any relevant notes for my convenience. I'm probably going to send you this as well, so you can kind of see and use that as a model on what you've written today, but hopefully this has been clear enough for you. Hopefully this has been a lot of good information about cover letters. I'm really happy that you bared with this entire presentation because it is a lot of information, but this is your future, and it's something that I think that you should really take seriously because a lot of you kind of tell me and prove to me that you don't love English and this isn't something that you want to do your whole life, but this is really important. And this is why English is important, because I want you to have a good career someday. And by having a good career, you need to start by being able to prove that you can have a good career to your hiring manager. So fill out this Google form, bear with me throughout this week, and you can decide whether you want to write a cover letter later or you want to write your college admissions essay. Tomorrow we'll do admissions essays, and we're all looking forward to that. Talk to you all later. Bye, guys.